Okay, so you're probably wondering why we design teachers keep asking you to draw cubes in 3D. The main reason is one, it's a good way of sort of practicing your 3D drawing skills, but the main reason is you can use a cube to help you for all of your design work. Okay, so once you've got a cube, you can then get your final design to fit into that. So what we're going to be doing in today's lesson is using these cubes that you've been practicing in previous lessons to actually help you design some of your flat pack furniture. So in today's lesson, we're going to be doing our second actual page of design ideas using the oblique method that you tried last time in one of the sessions to create some furniture design. So what I'd like you to do is, first of all, I'm going to be drawing in pen because you won't be able to see it if I draw in pencil, but I'd like you to use a pencil, please, just so then if you make any mistakes, you can rub them out. Okay, so what we're going to do, the first thing is something that you know. The first thing you're going to do is I'm going to draw a box. Now this could be a square, this could be a rectangle, it doesn't really matter, but it should be the sort of proportions that you want your end bit of furniture to be. So if you're designing maybe a long wide sofa, you'd end up drawing a rectangle that was long and wide. If you were drawing something that was tall and thin, you would draw a rectangle that was those proportions as well. So I'm just going to start by drawing my rectangle. Okay, trying to keep my lines quite fluid. Okay, like so. And then with the oblique technique, I'm going to go 45 degrees up in this direction. So I'm going to go 45 degrees up here, trying to keep my lines parallel. So stay in the same distance apart all the way, 45 meters up like that, 45 degrees, sorry. I'm just going to rotate my page around, hopefully you can see what I'm doing. And then down there. So there's my basic oblique box there. But at the moment, that is just a cuboid. It doesn't really look much like a product or a bit of furniture. So now I'm going to start changing this into a piece of furniture. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start thinking about what sort of furniture I want it to be. So I'm going to design a sort of a funky looking coffee table. I'm going to try and turn this in. So I'm going to say this is my top surface here. I'm going to start making that into a little bit darker. Okay, so here's my top surface. I'm then going to put an angled corner on here and here. I want this to be angled, and I'm going to bring this down like so. And you see, by darkening it in, it starts to make it look a bit more correct. So I'm just using my box that I've drawn to help me form the shape of my flat pack furniture. So there's my sort of main sort of shape coming together. I'm going to give this a bit of a thickness now, so I'm going to bring a line down here like so, and I'm going to take up. Now what I would normally be doing is rotating my page to make this easier for me, but because I've got you guys watching, I've got my tripod set up, I'm not able to do that. So there's my sort of top surface of my coffee table there. I'm then going to think, right, well, what do I need to add to that? And I can use this box to help me actually think about what I want to add. Okay, so I think at the moment, if this was a coffee table here, I'm going to need something to hold this up. I'm going to need something to make this stay in the same position. So I'm just going to draw in here where the back lines were. Now what I'm trying to do is keep my lines very faint, and then later on darken them in when I know they're correct. Okay, so what I'm going to say is, right, I'm going to add in underneath here, I'm going another leg that comes down like that here, like so. And then I'm going to say, right, well, I want a bit of storage in this, so I'm going to put a line along here, and I'm going to split that into half, and then I'm going to have a drawer. Now, to make it look like a drawer, I need a handle on this drawer, so I'm just going to do a little bit of a handle in here, like so. Like that. And so that, and then I'm going to add this back leg in like this. Okay, so there, suddenly my idea is starting to come together. Now what I'm going to then do is I'm just going to start darkening around this outside edge, just to make it pop out from the page a little bit. Okay, so all around the outside, to be honest, what I should probably do is get a thicker pen. Okay, so you go around the outside in a thicker pen, but hopefully you can start seeing that actually by creating the shape, by creating the box first, I was then able to use that oblique box to then influence my design. So there we go. Now what I can do is I can start adding some labels. So I can maybe put an arrow coming out here, label that as draw, label this bit as leg, perhaps what materials it's been made by, so I can add some annotations on here. I also need to think about how this is going to be flat packed. Okay, so I need to consider those sort of things. So perhaps here, where I've got this joint here, I could highlight that and then explode that joint out and show you how it would actually go together. Then let's just go over that quickly again. So all you're going to do is come up with another idea that I could put somewhere else on the page. So start off with your square. If you want to, you can use a ruler for this. I'm just doing it freehand. Okay, so then I'm going to go up 45 degrees from here, from each side. Not really worried about it. Another drawing, and then okay, I'm just going to go down here. So there's a basic box shape. Okay, so this time I'm going to design a sort of bedside table type thing. Okay, that's going to fit somewhere in this cube. So I'm going to use this cube now to help me. So I want the top surface here to be like that. I'm then going to bring this down a sort of diagonal like that. Diagonal like that. Okay, and then all my lines stay in parallel. I'm just rotating it around just to make it easier for me to draw. Hopefully it's not messing your eyes up too much. Okay, and then I'm going to make this have a bit of thickness here. Okay, that line will go back there just to show the internal part. And then I'm going to add some legs on the bottom. One leg there, another leg there, and then there'd be a leg at the back. Or maybe I'll make these straight like that. That'll be quite nice. Okay, so straight like that, and then you can see that one. There we go. And then obviously I've got all these construction lines. Now I've drawn it in pen, so I won't be able to rub mine out, but you could rub out the lines that you don't need now, and then perhaps go over them in pen if you wanted to make them stand out a bit more. But I actually quite like having the construction lines there. I think it actually shows how the video is constructed, and what I'm trying to do is darken in the area of the correct lines, just by, and again trying to make sure my lines are nice and fluid, nice and straight, more rather than drawing like lots of little lines like this. Okay, rather than doing that, I'm trying to keep it to one line, so one line like that. Okay, then if I have that line going over and over again, it starts to darken it in. Okay, so there's my bedside table. We might that I could put next to my bed, quite chunky. Got some cool sort of angles going on there. Might like it, might not. Again, I can start annotating this, thinking about how it's going to be flat packed. Does this? Do I need to think about actually here going up like that and like that, and all these different parts, how it would go together? Have a line there to show that's where that join would be, like so. Okay, but hopefully what you can see is how I started off with my oblique cube, like that, just drawn roughly. As I say, if you want to use a ruler, you can do if you feel more comfortable. And then we use this cube to then construct a drawing like that. We then need to start labeling it. Okay, so we need to annotate it, legs, what this material is made from, all these types of things. Okay, so what I've done there, literally in 12 minutes, is come up with two different ideas. Okay, one for a sort of coffee table and one for a sort of bedside table. And what we're trying to do is just develop your sketching skills and explain. So I've drawn that box. I've drawn two boxes there, different shapes, one being a cube, one being a cuboid, and then use that to help me construct the rest of the design. Okay, so that's really what this is all about. This technique is called oblique crating. Okay, and you're using the square, the cuboids there to really help you construct your design. So what I'd like to see really is a range of different designs on your page. So start off just by drawing some cuboids or some cubes, and then use that to help you develop your 3D drawing skills for your oblique drawing. Now, as I said to you, I do advise you using a pencil first and then rubbing out all of the bits that have gone right, bits that you might not want. I could rub out all these construction lines in here and make this drawing look a little bit neater. Okay, what you could also do is just with a pencil crayon, maybe add a little bit of colour just around the edge, or a colour box. Okay, that's what I like to do. Just put a colour box behind it, and it just makes that design jump out from the page. All right, so a little bit of work there for today for you. I'd like a page of oblique designs. Okay, so start with creating your obliques, cuboids and boxes, then put your designs within that, please.